Hello, welcome to the Self-Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Chapter 3, Environment and Society. And our topic is different perspectives on environment. There are many different perspectives on environment and its relationship to society. These differences include the nature-nurture debate and whether individuals' characteristics are innate or are influenced by environmental factors. For instance, are people poor because they are innately less talented or hardworking, or because they are born into a situation of disadvantage and lack of opportunities? Theories and data about environment and society are influenced by the social conditions under which they emerge. Thus, the notions that women are intrinsically less able than men and blacks naturally less able than whites were challenged as ideas of equality became more widespread during the 18th century's social and political revolutions. Colonialism generated a great deal of knowledge about environment and society, often systematically compiling it in order to make resources available to the imperial power. Geology, geography, botany and zoology, forestry and hydraulic engineering were among the many disciplines that were created and institutionalized to facilitate the management of natural resources for colonial purposes. Environment management is, however, a very difficult task. Not enough is known about biophysical processes to predict and control them. In addition, human relations with the environment have become increasingly complex. With the spread of industrialization, resource extraction have expanded and accelerated, affecting ecosystems in unprecedented ways. Complex industrial technologies and modes of organization require sophisticated management systems, which are often fragile and vulnerable to errors. We live in risk societies using technologies and products that we do not fully grasp. The occurrence of nuclear disasters like Chernobyl, industrial accidents like Bhopal, and mad cow disease in Europe shows the dangers inherent in industrial environment. Now the next topic is major environmental problems and risks. Although the relative importance of urgency of different environmental hazards may vary from country to country and context to context, the following are globally recognized as main ones. The first one is resource depletion. Using up non-renewable natural resources is one of the most serious environmental problems. While fossil fuels and especially petroleum hog the headlines, the depletion and destruction of water and land is probably even more rapid. The rapid decline in groundwater levels is an acute problem all over India, especially in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. Aquifers which have accumulated water over hundreds and thousands of years are being emptied in matter of a few decades to meet the growing demands of intensive agriculture, industry and urban centers. Rivers have also been dammed and diverted, causing irreversible damage to the ecology of water basins. Many water bodies in urban areas have been filled up and built up upon destroying the natural drainage of the landscape. Like groundwater, topsoil too is created over thousands of years. This agricultural resource too is being destroyed due to poor environmental management, leading to erosion, waterlogging, and salinization. The production of bricks for building houses is another reason for the loss of topsoil. Biodiversity habitats such as forests, grasslands, and wetlands are the other major resource facing rapid depletion, largely due to the expansion of areas under agriculture. Though various parts of globe including some parts of India appear to have seen some reforestation or increase in vegetative cover in recent decades, the overall trend is towards the loss of biodiversity. The shrinking of these habitats has endangered many species, several of them unique to India. You may have read of the recent crisis when it was discovered that the tiger population had fallen sharply despite strict laws and large sanctuaries. Now, the next point is pollution. Air pollution is considered to be a major environmental problem in urban and rural areas, causing respiratory and other problems which result in serious illness and death. The sources of air pollution include emissions from industries and vehicles, as well as the burning of wood and coal for domestic use. We have all heard of pollution from vehicles and factories and seen pictures of smoking chimneys and exhaust pipes in cars. But we often do not realize that indoor pollution from cooking fires is also a serious source of risk. This is particularly true of rural homes where wood fires using green or poorly burning wood, badly designed fireplaces, and poor ventilation combine to put village women at serious risk because they do the cooking. In fact, the World Health Organization has estimated that almost 600,000 people died during to indoor pollution related causes in India in 1998. Almost 500,000 of them in rural areas. Water pollution is also a very serious issue affecting surface as well as groundwater. Major sources include not only domestic sewage and factory influence about also the runoff from farms where large amount of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides are used. The pollution of rivers and water bodies is a particularly important problem. Cities are also suffer from noise pollution, which has been the subject of court orders in many cities. Sources include amplified loudspeakers used at religious and cultural events, political campaigns, vehicular horns, and traffic and construction work. The next one is global warming. The release of particular gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and others creates a greenhouse effect by trapping the sun's heat, not allowing it to dissipate. This has caused a small but significant rise in global temperature. The resulting climate change is projected to melt polar ice fields and raise the sea level, thus submerging the low-lying coastal areas and, more important, affecting the ecological balance. Global warming is also likely to result in greater fluctuations and uncertainty in climates across the world. China and India are increasingly significant contributors to world carbon and greenhouse gas emissions. The next one is genetically modified organisms. New techniques of gene species allowing scientists to import genes from one species into another, introducing new characteristics. For instance, genes from Bacillus thuringiensis has been introduced into cotton species, making it resistant to the bollworm, a major pest. Genetic modification may also be done to shorten growing time, increase size and shelf life of crops. However, little is known about the long-term effects of genetic modification on those who eat these foods or on ecological systems. Agricultural companies can also use genetic modification to create fertile seeds, preventing farmers from reusing them and guaranteeing that seeds remain their profit yielding property, forcing farmers to be dependent on them. The next one is natural and man-made environmental disaster. This is a self-explanatory category. The Bhopal disaster of 1984 killed about 4,000 people when a toxic gas leaked from the Union Carbide factory, and the tsunami of 2004 killed thousands of people are the most recent examples of man-made and natural environmental disasters. Now let us wind up the session, and thank you very much for engaging yourself with the self-learning podcast.